Staff Sergeant Torres, you need to see this. Someone just set your kitchen on fire. My neighbor texted at 300 hours Afghanistan time, along with a video of my cousin Blake laughing while spraying lighter fluid on my stove. 6,000 miles away, I watched my family destroy my home in real time, not knowing I'd already coordinated with local police to infiltrate their next party. But would they arrest them before my cousins discovered the safe containing evidence that could destroy more than just my house? My name is Isabella Torres, and this is how I took down my own blood from a war zone. I bought the house in Austin, Texas, 3 years earlier. Nothing fancy, a 2-bedroom ranch with good bones and a VA loan. Every deployment paycheck went toward improvements, new roof, security system, converting the garage into a home gym. It was my sanctuary between deployments, my proof that I was building something beyond the uniform. My family saw it differently. Must be nice having government money, my cousin Blake sneered at the housewarming. Some of us actually work for a living. Blake was 32, unemployed, living in his mother's basement. His work consisted of failed crypto schemes and borrowing money he never repaid. His sister Vanessa wasn't better, 28, 3 kids by 3 fathers, constantly posting about boss babe life while selling pyramid scheme vitamins. She'd walked through my house that day like a realtor, mentally pricing everything. Military pays for all this? She'd asked, eyeing my electronics. Combat pay and not having kids I can't afford, I'd replied. She blocked me on social media for a week. My deployment to Afghanistan came suddenly in March. 12 months, maybe 18. I'd done it before, knew the drill. Secure everything, forward mail, suspend subscriptions. But this time, something felt off. You need someone to check on the house, my Aunt Linda offered. Blake and Vanessa's mother, my father's sister. Sweet woman, but blind to her children's faults. I've got it covered, I said, not mentioning the smart security system with cameras in every room, all accessible from my phone. Family should help family, she insisted. I'll have Blake drive bi-weekly. I should have said no harder. Should have been ruder. But she'd been kind to me after my parents died, and I felt obligated. Just drive by, I emphasized. I have cameras. I'll know if anyone goes inside. 2 months into deployment, everything seemed fine. Blake would text photos of the exterior, all good, cuz. Collecting the $50, I'd Venmo him for gas money. The cameras showed empty rooms, undisturbed peace. Then month 3, I got an alert at 200. Motion detected, living room. I opened the app to find Blake inside. Vanessa beside him, both laughing. She's in Afghanistan getting shot at, Blake said directly to my hidden camera, not knowing it was there. What's she gonna do, fly back? They were checking things out, they said to each other. Opening drawers, examining electronics. Vanessa taking photos of my grandmother's jewelry box. I screen recorded everything and texted Blake. Get out of my house. Now. His response. Chill. Just making sure everything's good. You're paranoid. They left, but the damage was done. They tested boundaries and found them crossable. Month 4, another alert. This time, 15 people in my living room. Music blasting, alcohol everywhere, strangers sitting on my couch, going through my bedroom. She's overseas, she'll never know. Blake announced to the party, beer in hand, standing on my coffee table. I called the police from Afghanistan. They said without proof of forced entry or immediate danger, it was a civil matter. Blake had a key, the one he'd copied from the spare I'd stupidly let him use once. The parties became weekly. Every Friday, my phone would explode with alerts. I'd watch, helpless, as strangers invaded my space. They went through my closets, tried on my clothes, used my bed for activities I don't want to describe. Vanessa started charging admission. $20 a head to party at the abandoned soldier house. She advertised on social media, careful to block me and anyone who might tell me. I screen recorded everything. Every broken glass, every stolen item, every moment of violation. The rage built with each video, but rage was useless from Kandahar. So I got strategic. First, I contacted my insurance company, filing claims for everything damaged, providing video evidence. They started their own investigation. Second, I reached out to Army legal assistance. They connected me with a stateside lawyer who specialized in military protection cases. Third, and most importantly, I called Detective Maria Santos at Austin PD. She'd arrested Blake 2 years prior for theft. Charges dropped when the victim mysteriously recanted. "He's escalating," she told me after reviewing my footage. But without being caught in the act with something serious, it's still misdemeanor territory. What would be serious enough? Drugs, assault, major theft. The kind of stuff that happens at parties that get out of control. That's when the plan formed. Week 6 of parties. Blake had started advertising them wider. Soldier girls partui haus. $30 in Tari. Anything goes. I watched him count money at my kitchen table. $300 minimum per night, tax-free, straight to his pocket. Vanessa had started selling drugs from my bathroom. I had footage of transactions, packages exchanged for cash. They'd caused approximately $30,000 in damages so far. Broken windows, destroyed furniture, stolen electronics. But the worst part came during week 7. Blake found my military shadow box, the one with my medals, patches, unit coins, gifts from battles, from fallen friends, irreplaceable memories. "Check this out," he laughed, putting on my purple heart. "I'm a war hero." He threw my bronze star across the room. Vanessa used my combat patches as coasters. Someone stole my unit coins, 57 of them, each representing a moment, a person, a memory. I sobbed in my bunk in Kandahar, my squad leader finding me at 400, shaking with rage. "Torres, what's wrong?" I showed her the footage. She watched in silent fury. "You need to end this," she said. "I don't care how." That's when Detective Santos and I developed the real plan. The next party was advertised bigger than ever. Blake promised special entertainment and party favors courtesy of Vanessa's connections. They expected 100 people. What they didn't know was that Detective Santos had shared the social media posts with Narcotics Division, or that 15 undercover officers had RSVP'd, or that marked bills would be used for entry fees and drug purchases, or that the moment Vanessa sold to an undercover, the whole house would be raided. Friday night, 2100 Austin time, 7:30 Saturday morning Afghanistan time. I'd specifically requested a mission light day, telling my CO I needed to handle a family emergency via video call. I watched on my phone as people arrived. Blake at the door, collecting money, counting bills. Vanessa in the bathroom with her scale and bags. The undercovers mixed perfectly with the crowd, young officers who looked like college kids, older ones who looked like Blake's sketchy friends. At 21:47, Vanessa sold 3 grams of cocaine to Officer Mitchell, age 23, looking like every other party kid there. At 21:48, Detective Santos gave the signal. At 21:49, my front door exploded inward. I was 10 police. Everyone on the ground. The cameras caught everything in beautiful HE clarity. Blake trying to run, tackled in my hallway. Vanessa attempting to flush drugs, caught red-handed. Party-goers screaming, crying, some trying to escape through windows. And then, the best part, Blake's phone call to his mother, on speaker in the patrol car, picked up by my doorbell camera. "Mom, I'm being arrested. At Isabella's house. It wasn't my fault." "What were you doing there?" Aunt Linda's voice, confused. "Just checking on it like she asked it." With 100 people and drugs, Detective Santos interrupted. "Ma'am, your son's being charged with breaking and entering, destruction of property, theft, operating an illegal venue, and conspiracy to distribute narcotics." The silence from Aunt Linda was deafening. Vanessa's charges were worse. Possession with intent to distribute, occurring in a residence she didn't own. Around minors, several partygoers were 17. But the investigation didn't stop there. The forensic accountant my insurance company hired traced the money. Blake had made over $12,000 from the parties. Vanessa had made $8,000 from drug sales. All documented on their phones, which were seized as evidence. Then came the federal charges. Stealing military decorations, it turns out, is a federal crime. Destroying them is worse. The FBI got involved, and suddenly Blake wasn't looking at county jail. He was looking at federal prison. I testified via video link from Afghanistan at their preliminary hearing. The judge, a veteran himself, watched the footage of Blake wearing my Purple Heart as a joke. "Staff Sergeant Torres," he said, "what does that medal represent to you?" "I got it when an IED hit our convoy, Your Honor. I pulled 2 soldiers from a burning vehicle while injured. One of them died in my arms. That medal has his blood on the back of it." Blake started crying. Not from remorse, from fear. And the Bronze Star. Awarded for actions during a 72-hour firefight. We lost 3 good people. That star represents them. The judge's face was stone. Blake got 5 years federal, 3 years state, to run concurrently. Vanessa got 7 years state. They were both ordered to pay full restitution, $43,000, plus my legal fees. But the story doesn't end with their arrest. During the investigation, police found something else in my house. My safe had been tampered with. Blake had been trying to break in for weeks. Inside that safe were my parents' death certificates, their military records, both were veterans, and something Blake didn't know about, documentation of the trust fund they'd left me, worth $200,000, designated for a house purchase. Blake had been searching for it. Aunt Linda admitted, after everything came out, that she'd told Blake about the money years ago, thinking I'd wastefully spent it all on the house. She didn't know I'd only used $60,000 for the down payment, investing the rest. If Blake had gotten into that safe, he would have found the investment accounts, the routing numbers, everything he needed to steal my entire inheritance. That's what he'd really been after. The parties were just opportunity crimes. His real goal was the big score. From my bunk in Afghanistan, I watched the final party through my cameras. Not Blake's party, but mine. Detective Santos and 5 officers who'd worked the case came to fix what they could. They'd raised money among themselves, matched by the department's victim fund. They repaired the walls, replaced broken items, restored my home. Detective Santos placed new medals in my shadow box, not the originals, those were gone forever, but ones donated by veteran officers who wanted to help. She placed them carefully, respectfully, understanding their weight. "Your home is secure, Sergeant," she said to my camera, knowing I was watching. "We've got your 6. I cried harder than I had during any firefight. When I returned from deployment 8 months later, my house was different but whole. The neighbors had maintained my yard. A veterans group had installed new security systems. Military grade, they joked. My unit had pooled money to replace what couldn't be recovered. Blake wrote me a letter from federal prison. 4 pages of excuses, manipulation, fake apologies, ending with a request for me to forgive and forget, and maybe put money in his commissary account. I sent it back with 2 words written across it: never again. Vanessa tried to contact me through her mother when she got out on parole after 3 years. She needed a place to stay, just temporarily, while she got back on her feet. I didn't respond. Aunt Linda still sends Christmas cards, acting like nothing happened. "Family is family," she writes each year. Family doesn't destroy your home while you're fighting for your country. Family doesn't steal medals earned in blood. Family doesn't violate your sanctuary for profit. My real family? The soldiers who held me while I cried in Kandahar. The detective who fought for justice from Austin. The neighbors who testified at trial. The veterans who replaced what was stolen. That's family. Everything else is just DNA and disappointment. The house stands strong now, reinforced with more than security systems. It's protected by a community that understands service, sacrifice, and respect. And Blake. Last I heard, he's learning what it's like to live in a space you can't leave, surrounded by people you didn't choose, following rules you can't break. He's got 3 more years to think about the parties he threw in my home while I was overseas. I hope every day feels like a deployment he can't come home from.